Hello, Barmy Badger Army.
Hey, Badger Army.
Hello, guys.
Don't forget your mask.
Don't forget your mask.
I can't believe you're making me do this.
Of course. Today we're going to be talking about the fact that Nick loves the Xfactor.
So much so that I love even more that it's been axed this year.
Yay! Indeed, Nick is actually going to give us a quick pointer and his views on the fact that Xfactor is not on this year. And he's so excited that it's not on.
Look how excited I am. I like to keep it subtle. Seriously though, it just that I have a major issue with the Xfactor because it just kind of cheapens the music industry. People think that you can only get like famous if you're on the Xfactor.
That's true.
There are actually now one person I interviewed on my radio show actually said to me that that he was offered a record contract, part of which involves going on Xfactor.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, you know, even if you're musically talented, then it doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to win. It's all about the storyline. You know,
Yeah,
so if you've got a sob story, even better. Because people have to try and feel empathy for you somehow.
You'll be famous for a hot minute and then that's it. You know, it's really bizarre. I mean, I would love to go on one of these shows, don't get me wrong, but I think the way that they are made and created now is totally wrong. Like when Big Brother first came out, it was a scientific experiment. It led to something really interesting. The first few X Factors really led to some good stars. Can you name them, Nick?
Well, the first one was won by Steve Brookstein, who kind of like is now famous for not hitting the big time, but also people like Leona Lewis, who's done pretty well. And there's been success of people who didn't actually win.
Yes,
you know, it's like Ollie Murs was a good bet.
Ollie Murs is quite famous now, isn't he? So that's where you got to think of the fact that there is fame to be had from the earlier ones, but not necessarily now. I think it is just a big sob story and a big journey, and it's a shame because it's cheapened it in a way, hasn't it, Nick? Why do you think that? Why do you think it's cheapened it?
I just feel it was always going to go that way. You know, it's just
really,
you know, it's just like another one of these. You know, the thing is, it's become clear after a while that, you know, it's that there is a certain kind of star that they will go for. They'll go for something marketable, you know, and it just seems, you know, it's. I mean, I can sort of see it as a progression, you know, because Saturday night TV, it used to be very much about movies. It used to be about, you know, the odd entertainment show. I mean, I remember Gladiators and You Bet from Saturday night.
That's it, yes.
And Noel's House Party.
Noel's House Party, and of course Ant and Dec's Takeaway when it was funny.
Yeah, and so, but you know, now that they don't have kind of like blockbuster films to show because people can find them quite easily elsewhere, you know.
And of course there's no films being made.
And, you know, this is what they're having, you know, this is the kind of like what they're relying on now. I mean,
and also that horrible Little Mix talent show as well. I watched that and I thought it was the biggest pile of rubbish ever, and I couldn't even understand some of the stuff they were singing. It was rubbish. They were all tone deaf and it was horrible. And then Little Mix are going, "That's fantastic, you did great." I'm like, are you watching the same band? God.
The thing is, it's like most of the stars that they have, people that they have in as judges, have been involved in the industry for over a decade, whereas Little Mix, it's less than a decade. You know, I mean, they're good at performing themselves, but just because you're a good performer yourself doesn't mean that you're necessarily good at advising other people. You know, you know, not everyone has what it takes to be a coach per se. I don't mind it so much with likes of Britain's Got Talent because I see that as kind of like a throwback to, you know, the old TV talent shows that you had on in the 70s.
Exactly, yeah.
Like. So, you know, I don't begrudge that one quite so much, but X Factor, it's just all about trying to, you know, get in the charts, get the Christmas #1. It wrecked the race to the Christmas #1.
Oh, definitely.
The days when that was exciting.
Exactly. The Christmas #1 race was fantastic before, and now it's sort of going to be like a cheap, shoddy alteration of its former self.
Indeed.
With like, you know, rubbish stuff. And this is why rubbish regurgitated waffle from talent shows. But this is why I'm glad that a few years ago they included digital sales and everything like that, because now the charts is like the Wild West and it's fantastic. Anything can be #1.
There we go. You know, and it's just recognizing how how music is sold, how it's consumed, and the like. And
Indeed. And I do think that the way modern music taste is going at the minute anyway, it's really hard to sort of find something that's a real gem. So we don't want twaddle, do we? We really don't think it's ideal. I think, sometimes I even think maybe the music industry should scrap it all and just start again, and maybe we get some real fantastic gems.
We're slowly going that way. It's like nowadays people are selling a lot more of their music online. And there is kind of they don't operate in the same way they do now. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are still record labels that do operate in that sense.
That's right.
And it'll be a while before we're able to operate completely without them.
Exactly.
But it's like it's slowly but surely coming back in the hands of people who are able to produce their own music and things like that.
That's a fantastic point.
So
there's hope for it yet.
I think
who knows?
And the X Factor it's stuck in a previous decade.
You're right.
It's just something, it's like it kind of leads people are just led up the garden path, and they're just, and you can win one year and then you're like, you're last year's winner, you're the winner of the year before.
You could be a fantastic celebrity one minute and then toasted the next.
Exactly.
You could have a fantastic career for maybe 5-6 months and then dead in the water.
Yeah, and then you're reduced to, and then a lot of the time you end up being like a featured act on like the turning on of the Christmas lights in events and stuff like that, local festivals.
Club 7.
Yeah, I know that there's not a lot of that going on, but I think generally every time we have like the turning on of the Christmas lights in
It's Club 7.
in Romford or Brentwood or any of the other local areas around here,
right.
There's always someone who was an X Factor finalist.
That's right.
and
Yes, indeed.
That's what you become known as.
The guy that turns on the lights at Christmas.
Yeah, and the thing is, most of these events, they can't afford to have like a really huge big headliner, so they go for someone who has some kind of vague fame. So it's like, it's something, but even then it's like, how long are you going to be able to dine out on that for?
Exactly. Nick, on that note, I think that's a great idea, because don't forget, we've got to go and turn the Christmas lights on.
We have.
See you later, everyone. Thanks for watching. Look after yourselves and let us know your thoughts on X Factor. Was it great back in the day? Should it still go on? What was your favourite TV from back in the day? And do you miss the way TV and the music industry used to be? Let us know in the comments. Bye!